Hello, Solace here. It's been a while since I uploaded, and uploads are probably not going to be once a week anymore. So this week I'm just going to be uploading a video of me draping my skirt and giving a little bit of an overview talk on what's been going on and why there's not going to be as many videos. The short answer is the area where I live. Lockdown is semi-over and I have gone back to work. As mentioned, I am trained to the point where I could be a tailor. However, I was unable to find a job as a tailor and I am instead working as a dog groomer. First, I'd like to say that, to my surprise, I actually really love this job and I find it very rewarding. But it is much more physically demanding than I initially expected, and I often find myself tired after long days at work. The truth is that most days I'm just too tired to work on my projects by the time I get home, and if I don't have projects to work on, I don't have a lot of content to make. At first, I tried experimenting by making content that didn't require me to work on a project. And while some of those videos did well and will still occasionally be made, on average, I don't think that's a thing many people are all that interested in watching, which, fair. I also don't particularly enjoy making those videos as much, and so I don't think that is necessarily a great way to keep going when I'm too tired to work on projects either. I think a solution to this would be if any of you have any topics based on things I've talked about in the past that you'd like to hear me speak about, I can talk about them rather than just scrambling for topics. The other and more realistic solution I think would also be to, instead of aiming for a once a week, aim for an every other week or even as low as once a month video process. As just a side note, as mentioned, I bent another pin on this skirt. The amount of pins I bent while trying to drape this underskirt is ridiculous. For thicker areas, I took to just tying ribbons at this stage to see if I could achieve a similar effect during the draping process. I found draping this skirt incredibly difficult the closer I got to the end of the tail, and I'm still not entirely convinced I'm happy with it, but I'll be coming back to it once I've made the bodice itself. I also just want to state for the record that I had over 3 hours of footage of me draping and redraping this overskirt, and I am not sure how much of it I'm actually putting up, but just know whatever you're seeing, there's more than double of just sitting in my hard drive. And no, I'm still not happy with it, but at least I think I know why. Which I will explain at the end of the video when you can actually see what the current state of it is. I may also potentially start uploading videos of me working on smaller projects such as everyday clothing or something else along those lines. How to incorporate, pieces of your historical wardrobe into your everyday wardrobe, different lookbooks, something along those lines, but I'm still just not sure yet. I'm really excited that this project is starting to near its completion, but I must say, this step has been by far the most frustrating. The amount of times I have draped and redraped this skirt. The part that's most frustrating is the fact that it needs to end up looking like a scorpion's tail. Scorpion tails are quite skinny, so even when I'm happy with the top half from the knees up, as I narrow it into the scorpion tail, I become discontent because it just looks like this sad, pathetic little train on the ground, and it's just so skinny, it's weird. I have a few ideas on how to remedy that, however, I did not think of any of them while you see me draping this. So instead, you'll just see me draping, unpinning, and redraping. I'm trying to cut out a lot of the parts that are too repetitive, so hopefully you don't have to see the same thing too many times. Also, please pardon me filming most of this in my jammies. I did make an effort to get dressed on one of my days off, but just couldn't be bothered on the other one, it would seem. So, sewing in jammies it is. Eventually I will find the time and energy to get dressed while sewing. I don't know why I'm trying to twist it like that in that way. That makes just such a pathetically skinny train. Fortunately, I seem to have figured out that method was not working fairly quickly this time. A thing some of you may have noticed is that I tend to very rarely use a pattern. That is not because I can't read them or don't have them, it's because I buy them, look at them, decide they're not literally exactly what I want, and that it would probably be easier to just make my own design from scratch rather than just modifying a few things here and there. Hence why most of the footage for this channel, before it gets edited into a video, is exactly what you see here, where it's just hours upon hours of me draping, redraping, draping, redraping, until I get something that I'm semi-happy-ish with. Again, here we go with the really skinny train. It looks so weird. I don't know what I was thinking here. The worst part is I still have even cut out a pattern that probably would have made draping this overskirt a million times easier. However, I got it to a stage where I'm happy with most of it, and I don't feel like starting from scratch again. So I guess I'll just stubbornly keep trying to redrape this little back part you see me working on here a million times again, and eventually get something I'm hopefully more or less happy with. Here you can see me attempting to make the very end of the tail into something resembling a scorpion stinger. It does not work out well. That is the spoiler. The spoiler is it still does not look like a scorpion stinger. I also did this weird thing where I made little what I can only explain as rosebuds at the very top of it to help try and give it somewhat of a more pointed shape. So it actually comes off looking kind of like a flower with leaves coming off of it. Then we're going to do something real quick on the front, and I'm kind of going for a bit of a shell or exoskeleton type look with the pleats on this, which I do think I succeeded in when you know what you're looking for. However, like much of this dress, it definitely feels a bit like a you need to know what I was going for, to know what I did, and I don't know if that means I met my goal or not. Either way, I am relatively happy with how the front turned out so far. I'll finish off the front panel by connecting it to the one side and then rounding off the bottom, tucking that little corner right up inside so you can't really see it. I quite like the way that joining what was once the bottom side to the side creates this extra little bubble effect. It really adds to the exoskeleton shell look I was going for. Here is the finished product so far, sad little scorpion tail notwithstanding. I'm more or less happy with how everything else turned out so far. And that is all I have for you this week. Please let me know if you have any ideas how to improve my weird little scorpion tail in the comments below. Give us a like if you enjoyed, and I will see y'all soon. For now, this has been Solace. Hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.